waiting in traffic. We're headed to a spa. This is our spa. It's a really, really nice spa. I love this place. There's so many spas, but this is one of them I like. Hello. I'm supposed to take pictures of you. Yeah. Yeah. Around. Okay, fine. You can put the camera on me. This is what I'm wearing.
Oh, you're taking video. I thought you were taking photos.
This is what I'm wearing to Canggu. Because that's where we're going. We're going to Canggu.
To do what?
So we are going to Canggu for 2 days to go surfing. So yeah, that's what we're doing. We're going to Canggu. We're going to go visit our visa office, say hi to them, talk to them about our options, and we're going to go surfing. And before we do that, we're going to get a massage and hang out in a bath. And then when we come back, we're going to have our new place because it has a private kitchen and we want to cook at home. It's like bourbon. Andrew's drinking bourbon.
It's like super strong ginger tea. You can't just like throw it back. You gotta kind of go easy with it.
Yeah. So we're gonna have the turmeric, that yellow one. That's what they're gonna use on us. What are you gonna think about in your massage?
The purpose of life.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm gonna solve it.
Nice. This is our massage room, and they're filling up this thing so that when they do, they're gonna do like our body scrubs using those spices, and then they're gonna fill up the bath with flowers, and then we're gonna get in there after our body scrub. This is after our body scrub and massage. We're gonna sit in here. This is my sexy man about to get on his sexy scooter and do a sexy drive all the way, first to have lunch, breakfast, lunch, brunch, and then go all the way down Canggu with me.
Smells so good.
I know, right?
They're grinding it right there next to me.
Oh, nice.
Smell it. It
Yes.
smells amazing.
Yeah. There's like, it's so funny, the coconuts. Those, like, they sell coconuts here. And there's like a whole bunch of them down here. Andrews attracts all the dogs. They always want to come and sit next to him. Everywhere we go, they just want to sit next to Andrew.
Maybe like middle age.
Maybe a middle-aged dog. All right. Recording. Hold on. All right. We are recording. What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up, dudes? Dude.
I can't hear you.
You can't hear me?
I got music.
Oh, nice. Okay. Well, we will record and just start driving. I'm gonna put on some of my music. Let's see, what do we want to see here? Downloads, go to downloads. YouTube has smart downloads on. All right. Okay. Let's see. Let's listen to some Aurora. I love Aurora. So I'm doing the same thing as I did last time, the drive to Denpasar. I'm doing a motocast, recording this after the fact so that I can just enjoy my drive and listen to music and sing along and not be talking as consistently. But actually, while recording this and doing this voiceover, I'm actually sitting right in front of a waterfall, the same waterfall I recorded another video by, and it's why you might hear a little bit of static sound, the water sound in the background. It's really beautiful here. It's a really beautiful day, and I feel really blessed to be here. I feel blessed to be in a place where I'm just surrounded by nature all the time, by all kinds of wildlife, harmless, peaceful, like very serene kind of energy. Sometimes it's a little uncomfortable. Like actually last night I didn't have a very good sleep because I had so many mosquito bites and I'm so sensitive to them, so itchy. I'm bitten all over, like my whole body is bitten, and it's so hard to prevent it. They're just everywhere. There's just all kinds of bugs, and even right now there's a huge ant crawling on my pants. Ants on my pants. But it's also fun. Like there's lizards, frogs. This morning we found a snake in the tree, but it's all harmless. Like none of these animals are venomous. Huge, gigantic spiders, monkeys, salamanders, fish. There's koi fish everywhere. You go like look in the sewers, there's koi fish. It's amazing how much cool wildlife is in abundance, and they're just all living peacefully together. Like it's just so much wildlife living in harmony together. It's beautiful. Like I really love it. And so the other stuff are stuff to get used to. Like the downsides are stuff to get used to. Like the other night, so last night I couldn't sleep. Oh, I'm looking at a centipede right now. Last night I couldn't sleep because of the bites, the mosquito bites, even with the net. Like I don't know where I picked it up from swimming or something because my butt was out. I was wearing my bathing suit and just hanging out by the pool, and there were a lot of bugs. And I'll tell you where there's a pool. There isn't a pool at our compound. I'll tell you how this whole thing works, this lifestyle. But the other night I couldn't fall asleep because a frog jumped in the window, and it was like ribbit, really loud next to my ear. And it doesn't sound like ribbit, like it sounds like like it's really annoying, and it's like right in my ear. So yeah, I can't fall asleep with a frog doing that in my ear really loudly. And then there's like the roosters were crowing really early, so I couldn't sleep in really, which is I guess nice because it forces you to be on there's like a bedtime, like there's a rhythm here. It forces you to be in the rhythm and not sleep in until 12 o'clock noon. So yeah, that's the downsides. Our bed is really hard. The place that we're staying in, it's like this compound where they have, it's called a guest house, and they have a ton of them all over Bali. If you've ever been to Bali, you may have stayed at a guest house. That's like your own place is called a villa, where it's like your own house. Nobody lives there but you. A guest house is basically like, it could be like your own little apartment even, a guest house. Like you might have your own kitchen, your own living room, your own bathroom, whatever, but like you're still living in a gated compound where there's like a family that takes care of you essentially. They might make you breakfast in the mornings. They might clean your room every day. Like our hosts clean our room every day. They're very hygienic. They care a lot about being clean. I guess because if they don't, the animals will get to everything. Dogs, cats, birds. Like we left our garbage out one night. We left our garbage out, and the next day it was ransacked. So we have a family that basically takes care of us. If they hear it, like if we have any problems, they're right there to fix it. If we run out of propane in our propane stove, whatever, they're there to replace it. If we run out of water for drinking, they're there to bring us a new jug. If we need laundry, they do it for us. Costs all of $3 to have all our stuff washed, like by a company that they hired. Like $3. Life in Bali is like surprisingly cheap, depending on what you're doing. And there's a lot of expensive stuff in Bali, but it really depends on what you're doing, like who you're friends with, what your social situation is. As a couple, like there's a few couples that live in this compound and they've been living here for years. And there's one that we know of that they have a little kid. If you're like doing a family thing, Bali is I think it's really good for that, for family, like having family, raising kids or a kid. I know someone that my really close friend introduced me to that came here she got pregnant by accident, and she wanted to keep the baby, and she didn't know she was from like one of the Five Eyes countries, like an English speaking country. She wanted to have a baby. She wanted to have the baby because even though the baby was like, she got pregnant from a one night stand, but then like while she was pregnant, she like, felt connected to the baby. She didn't want to abort the baby. So she decided to have the baby in Bali. And she said I've been talking to her a little bit and learning about how she did it all by herself years ago. Like, it's incredible. A young girl by herself deciding to have a baby, and she chose Bali. She just bought a flight to Bali and had her pregnancy, had her baby in Bali. She had a home birth. She had a baby by herself, by herself, meaning not in a hospital. And just things like that, stories like that, you wouldn't believe it until you see it. Like, this is really the kind of place where you can do that. If there is no place in the world where you can just like have a baby in the wild, Bali is really the place that you can do it. There's something about this place. It feels very warm. There's like community aspect. Living in a guest house is not just living in a room in a hotel. You're not in a room in a hotel where nobody cares. There is a feeling of community. People have their rituals here. They have their shrines everywhere. Like, they're very, very community oriented and very intentional about every part of the lifestyle. And you're not just left stranded. If you're feeling alone, or if you are like, you're not going to be alone. There's just it's just the feeling that you're taken care of. Even the nature is so soothing and like loving and taking care of you. For me, it's like I'm not exactly having a baby by myself. I have a very supportive partner who has a lot of experience, and like I feel like I'm cheating because he knows what he's doing, at least compared to me. So I'm not exactly doing it by myself, but I don't have anything to do with like, you know, any of his family. Like I don't have anything to do with, and I am not doing this around my family. And so in a lot of ways, we're kind of doing this by ourselves. But if there was anywhere in the world to do that, decide to raise a family by yourself, like, or to try to do anything by yourself. I love Bali. It's just, and the other thing is like, there's so many people that are exactly in the same boat as you. And obviously the cost, making it low, makes it worth it. Like, you know, our rent was $300 a month, including everything, right? Like utilities, furniture, like all that is just a given. It's just part of you're living in a place. It comes with furniture, it comes with toilet paper, all these things, right? Soap, like it comes with, I mean, Wi-Fi, water, electricity, you know, comes with all these things, like a desk to work at. And so yeah, $300 a month was last month. We were living in a unit that used a shared kitchen on the premises. So now this month we're living, and we moved to a bigger unit that has a kitchen, and it's $400 a month rent. And that means, you know, the host comes and cleans our room every day, like, you know, it's we could do that for a while. You know, I can break down the costs for you guys, but like I know so many people right now that are really struggling in the States, that are really, really struggling, that are like, you know, they might be working online or on their computers or something like that, or they might have the kind of savings that would sustain them for long enough while they build a business. Because let's face it, like, even if you have a job right now, most people's jobs are not sticking around. Like, unless you're doing cleaning or construction, even construction, like, you know, a lot of jobs are being replaced or are going to be replaced in the States. And I don't like to be the kind of person that fearmongers. Like, I don't like to be that. I don't like to do that. I don't like to be around people where I feel like I'm fear-mongering. You know what I mean? Like, I like to just put my money where my mouth is and do what I believe in. I don't like to tell people to do things that I believe in, but like, it's just, if anybody wanted it, like, it's just so clear that, I mean, I just know so many people that are really struggling, that would really benefit from picking up and leaving and going to live in a place where what they would have spent in a month in the States, I'm not exaggerating, like what you would have spent in a month back in the States can sustain you for a whole year or more, maybe. I mean, depends on who you are. Like, you know, like let's put the cost together. So what do you spend on your car? I mean, you don't even need a car here. Like, your cost of a motorbike would be, because you would have a scooter, a motorbike, that would cost you about $60 a month, 60, which I actually pay less than that, but I'm trying to be conservative here for you guys. So let's say you pay $60 a month for a scooter. You pay, let's say, about $15 $10-15 a month on gas. So let's say we give it like wait. No. How much did I pay on gas? No. You don't need $10-15. Paying about $8 a month on gas, because every time we fill a tank, it's $2 to fill a tank. So about $8 a month on gas. Let's say $68 a month for your vehicle to get around. And like, you don't need to pay to fix it, anything. Like the person you're renting it from will fix it, take care of it. They're very simple little machines, these scooters. And then you have like your rent. You live in a guest house. Let's say you're not cooking. Let's say you're gonna eat out every meal. So you pay $300 a month to live in a guest house. $300, $400, and you eat out for every meal. We've been eating out every meal. I mean, before we started cooking in a kitchen and having our own kitchen, we were eating out every meal, and we ended up spending $15 per person per day, like every meal, fancy meals, whatever we wanted. Lots of coffees and stuff like that, like iced lattes and frappuccinos, stuff like that. There's just all kinds of food options, like really good food options. Also, if you like gluten-free, if you like sugar-free, gluten-free, like alternatives, there's a lot of that. Vegan, there's a vegan everything, everywhere. There's a vegan menu and there's a regular menu. So, just a lot of options. Price range, there's a lot of different price options. But we like, we like eating out, and we like our nice stuff. So, $15 per person per day, which that's like the most you'll spend on anything, is going out to nice restaurants. Other than that, like, I don't know. The visa and the flights to get here, those are a big concern. So like, if you're I don't know, coming from the States, you're gonna pay at least, I mean, it depends where you're coming from. So we came through Los Angeles. That's how we got to see my family, because we came through Los Angeles, which was actually pretty cheap. And we spent, I think it was 600 and something. So not bad, actually, to get here from LA. 600 something, less than $700 a person to fly here through LA, from Dallas. And so, I would get like a one-way ticket. We went actually on this trip right here that we're driving to Canggu. So we stayed in Canggu for 2 nights, and we went surfing. But besides going surfing, we also did this trip so that we can visit the visa office, which was right near where we were going surfing. So we went to the visa office. We asked them about our options. Right now we're on the B211 visa, which is very it's very easy, but it's like $1,000 a person per year, and you have to reset it twice a year, and you can't leave on the visa without losing it. So like, you basically, you pay $1,000 a year. You have to fly out twice a year to keep it going, to like reset the visa. And you can do like a really cheap fast flight. You can go to like Singapore or something for a day, for an hour. You can just leave and come back to reset it, and then have another 6 months at a time. And the catch is that you just can't leave, otherwise you'll lose a visa. So that's what we're on right now. But we found out about like other options. There's investor visa, which You have to set up a company, you have to pay taxes, but it's really easy. I mean, you don't have to have your money here. You don't have to have your whole company here. You can have it as a branch of your U.S. company that doesn't actually have the bank accounts here. Like, there's a lot you can do with it, and that allows you to, and you know, these visa, there's so many visa agencies here, they'll do that for you. That's like 2 years at a time, and they can extend it, and so you can actually do that indefinitely. You can leave and come back as many times as you want on it. So that's just another option. There's so many options, visa options. And ultimately, this is like how the Indonesian government makes so much money, is through these visa options from foreigners. So that's a big cost. But that's actually a lot cheaper. The 2-year visa is much cheaper to get than the B211 visa. We just hadn't considered that because it was our first time coming here, and we didn't know that we would want to be here for 2 years at a time. But ultimately, it's much cheaper for us to go the 2-year visa route and to do this longer, and, you know. So that's another thing to consider about. I didn't intend for this to be a video on like how to move to Bali, but maybe that's what the title will be. I have no idea. But I really would recommend it for anybody that's struggling and is, you know, kind of doesn't see a way out. Because like, if you think it's bad right now, I mean, it can keep getting worse. Like, you have no idea how much it can keep getting worse. It can keep getting worse. And the thing is, like, there's a whole network of people that are in the same exact boat as you. There's just a ton of people like here. So we signed up for a social club because that's how we meet other expats. But also it's how we, you know, like, there's this place that we go to that I love. It's a social club. They have so many of these clubs everywhere, all over Canggu, Denpasar, Ubud. And they're basically where expats go to work. They have co-working spaces, they have gym, they have pools, swimming pools. Gorgeous, really beautiful. They've got spa, sauna, steam room, plunge, like ice bath, whatever. Like, they've got kids programs. They have a carnival every Sunday for kids. They have like language lessons that we go to every week. It's included as part of the club membership. They've got fitness classes, dance classes, like restaurant, like, I don't know, pool table, squash, tennis court, like, I don't know, basketball court. Actually, they don't have a tennis court. They have a squash court. So that's different, squash and tennis. I still haven't started playing that. They have a skateboarding park, whatever. They have like a little kids daycare, like, and then you meet people, and there's so many people that are doing the same thing, where they're living in Bali on like a budget. They brought, like, let's say $5,000, $10,000 with them in savings, and they're just stretching it out as long as they can while they build their business. You know, a lot of people's businesses revolve around just online stuff, services online, or technology, like gaming developers. We've met game developers, but then there's people that are doing what, you know, I just met and became friends with a lady that makes and sells jewelry, and obviously she doesn't make it herself. There's manufacturers here for a lot of things that you need for jewelry making. There's manufacturers that make clothing, fabric, shoes, leather, rattan, rayon, you know, a lot of like natural materials, and they're handmade, and it's like a lot of people are making a lot of money doing this, and it's not like they're reinventing the wheel, because there's a whole like system already created here of all kinds of manufacturers that are working with Amazon. They know exactly what to do. They know exactly how to package your stuff and send it to the Amazon warehouse. They know exactly like what the requirements are, what they have to get the code. I forgot what it's called, the code that they have to get per product so that Amazon can scan it when it gets to their warehouse. Like, they know how to do all these things because there's such a huge market for it here. And so many people come here just to do that, just to buy and sell stuff. And so like a lot of people will say, well, there's no jobs there, I can't move out of my country. And and it's like it makes me feel bad when I hear people say that, because what I think to myself is like, well, that's basically assuming that your job will be around, and if your job will still be around, that's assuming that your job will be paying you enough to keep up with inflation. And a lot of people are like stuck because their job, they're making a salary that was good enough 10 years ago that's barely paying for anything now. And like they're just getting more and more depressed over time and they're not realizing why, because like it's like a drain on your system. Like over time, when the value of your money is going down and down and down, you can buy less and less and less things with it. Also, there's your morale is going down. Like there's no outlook, there's no excitement about the future, there's nothing to look forward to, because it's just you're slowly withering away. You're slowly feeling weaker and weaker and weaker. No matter how hard you work, it's like kicking in quicksand. And you just don't realize why that's happening. And I think a lot of people are in that position. And I certainly was in that position. And I certainly could have used the validation. Someone to come and say, hey, Pardes, you're not crazy. You're not mentally crazy. You're not insane. Like, this is a real thing. You're not, you're not imagining things. You're not mentally ill. Like, there's nothing wrong with your body and your brain. In fact, your body and your brain are so sharp for even noticing these things. You're so healthy. You're so healthy for feeling depressed. You're so healthy for feeling like you're deteriorating, like up and down, like you're feeling unsafe, unstable. Your body is able to pick up on like the stimuli in your environment and realize that it doesn't want that. And when that's all you've known, like when you can't even fathom anything different because you have lived in the States your whole life, and that's like your only measuring stick for what is out there, and you're like, oh well, this is the whole world, so I'd better make it work here because like this is it, this is like how it is, so I better either shape up or like get lost, or but you're not realizing that a lot of people that were just in the same exact position as you are suddenly not. And they didn't have a brain surgery to change their brain. They didn't like all of a sudden become a different person overnight. They didn't all of a sudden get infused with a bunch of money. In fact, a lot of them lost a lot of money. And that's why they even had to come here, because they were like sort of forced to come, to Bali, to go to South America, to go to, I don't know, like other parts of Asia. Like there's just so many people that had to hit the quit button. And there's so many people that wish they did it when they had more money and that they wish they didn't wait until they were like they had to do it. Like there's so many people that wish that they did it when they were able to do it from a stronger position. I don't know if I'm making sense. Like there's just so many people that wish that they didn't wait so long. Oh my god, there's a huge... Oh my god. Oh my gosh, look at that. Look at that. How big is that? What is that? So I don't know what I just saw. I think it's like a crocodile or something, or like it's too small to be a crocodile, but it's way too big to be a lizard. Like it was huge. I mean, I don't think you guys were able to tell how big that thing was. It was like if you had to put it like it would have been at least 3/4 of my height if you had to like put it lengthwise next to me, next to my height. You had to measure its height, like its length. It would be like 3/4 of my height. Not exaggerating. That was huge. That was a huge looking lizard. That's like if you took one of these little geckos here, that are little baby lizards, and you just grew them really big. Gigantic. Anyways. So yeah. This is the wildlife is very much a thing here, and it's really nice to hear people's stories. We've been just meeting all kinds of people, hearing their stories, and honestly, we don't really socialize that much. Like people are always trying to socialize with us because they think we're interesting. People assume that we have interesting stories, and they're not wrong. Like both of us. If you think my story is interesting, Andrew has some pretty cool stories. Like everybody is always wanting to talk to us, and we're always avoiding people, like even though they don't even know who we are, but like we're always avoiding people because we came here to stay away from the world, to like not absorb people's energy, no matter who they are. They might even be, they're like, people here are so happy looking, like we actually feel very safe, but we still avoid people, like because we're just in such a healing, recovering phase in our life. Like we're so fragile. Anything can tip us over. Anything can make us sick. Like Andrew's sick again, actually. He has fever. Actually, his fever is better now. But like, I mean, literally anything can just tip the balance, our microbiome. So we've been having kombucha every day. We've been having these cute little kombucha cocktails with like fizzy, tonic, kombucha and tonic, mixing it up. Like we're really, coconuts every day. We're really taking care of our health. But we just came out of so much stress and illness, and in my case, like so much mental illness, which, I mean, I don't even think, like, I think my mind is so healthy for even alerting me that there's something wrong, for getting me away from environments that were not good for it. I'm so proud of my mind. I'm so proud of my body for screaming its head off. So I should do that. A lot of people are dead. A lot of people don't have that alive anymore in them. A lot of people are able to be in situations that are really bad for them because the part of their body and mind that should be signaling them that their environment is wrong, that the energy of the people around them is off, that everybody around them is depressed, so maybe they should get out of there. Like, they just don't have those sensors anymore. Those sensors have died, have been killed off. So the fact that I still have had that is sign of life. I'm so proud of my body for having that, for doing that. And it's really hard when your mind is at war with you, but like it's also could, be very beneficial to listen to it. Listen to your mind. What is your mind trying to tell you? And the thing is, like, a lot of people are like, oh, but I can't because I have to stay in this job, so I don't really have the luxury of like listening to my mind right now. My mind is saying I want to go to the beach and I want to go have fun, I want to go surfing, I want to go just chill in a jungle forest, I want to go live, I want to just sell everything and go live by the waterfall. I want to go, my mind is telling me that it wants to just say goodbye to everything and go live off the grid and play a musical instrument for the rest of my life and do nothing. My mind is saying, my body is saying that it wants to have children and not even care about just totally abandon Western medicine, Western way of education, Western style of raising family, Western style of living. I want to raise children that speak Chinese and live in Indonesian, and I want them to live among like a bunch of Russian and Chinese expats and not have anything to do with politics and just be in the wild, be in nature, like whatever that is, like what if you listened? But the thing is that your mindset, the culture that you're in is so ill that listening to what your body wants or what your mind wants in your conscious mind is like the silliest thing ever. Like you think that it's just the silliest thing ever because you have lived in a society for so long that went against your mind and your body's wishes for so long that you think that is normal. Like you think that's normal to be in a society that's so artificial, that's so like man-made and so not aligned with like a healthy, normal, healthy working body, that you think that like your body and mind's natural wishes are crazy or frivolous. Or impossible, but like it's very possible. Like I don't know how else to break it to you. Oh, but I won't be able to be around friends, family. I don't know. Like one decision that I made was I realized that my friends, family, even the best of them, are struggling so much. And I become so depressed so easily. My body needs a lot of rest. And you know what? I'm not ashamed to say it anymore. I don't feel embarrassed to admit this. I need more rest than other people. And you know what? That doesn't mean that I have to be like confined to some mental hospital or, pay $1,200 a month for overpriced medication to, these medications don't even help. Like, I don't even know. Like, I just hate this whole control, like, brainwash Western medicine stuff. Like, it's just, I just hate what people are doing to their bodies. And another thing that I've noticed is that everybody in my life, like, so I just know so many people. I know a lot of people. And one thing that I like to do is I like to get in touch with people that I haven't seen in a while or heard from in a while. I like to do this a lot. See how they're doing, how's life, what are they up to. And I can't help but notice that, like, my followers, people that follow me, that watch my videos and stuff, and I'm not saying this is like some kind of advertisement or anything like that. I'm just saying this is like the people that I follow and that follow me that are like kind of like in my little tiny corner of the internet that's like, that are very much focused on their own self-improvement and like healing and becoming just a healthier version of themselves, that are really focused and really believe that that's possible. Their lives are so much better than last I left them. People watch these videos like, I don't even know. But then there's a huge clear difference between the people I know whose lives have gotten so much better versus, on the other hand, friends and family whose lives have not gotten better but like are so much worse than last I left them. They're so much more worse off. And they're like, if they had problems 10 years ago, they're having like 10 times as many problems now. More than that, 100 times. I mean, it's like nobody stays the same. You're either going up or you're going down. And your body knows if you're going up or down. Your body, your mind, your feelings, like you know if you're going up or down. And the worst thing that you can do to yourself is to take a pill and lie to yourself about the fact that you're going down, because it'll make the way down easier. It'll make death easier. And it's like, if you've accepted death, if you've accepted that kind of mindset, I don't want to be anywhere near you. I'm sorry. Because it's so contagious. And I am so fragile. And I'm not afraid to admit that anymore. Like, there's so many people that are just on their way down. And I know so many people that are on their way down so fast. And I could have easily been dead, honestly. Like, there's so many times that I could have been gone. I feel so lucky to be alive, to be here. I feel so lucky to be still fertile. Like, wow, I'm 30 years old. I can still have children as a woman. Like, how many people have gone through ups and downs in their life, but when they came out of it, they were like in their 50s or 60s, I feel like I have a second chance at life, but I'm still 30. I'm still, I can still reproduce, potentially. We'll see. But so many people are never going to have that, because everything is just easier to see in retrospect. In retrospect, I tell myself, when I was younger, I've always wanted to do this, travel the world stuff. I mean, we see people that are like in their teenagers. We see people that are in college that are doing this, and they're doing it with their friends. They're like traveling the world. They're learning different languages. They're living on a much, much smaller budget. Like, they just paid for a ticket here. They found the cheapest ticket they can find here, and they're just living here. And they're building businesses. And they're spending a tiny fraction of what their drug-addicted friends back in the States are spending in order to learn more, speak more languages, be smarter, be way healthier. They're eating much healthier foods. By the way, have you noticed that, like, did you know that eggs in the States are yellow? Like, the yolks of your eggs are yellow? And so the yolks of the eggs here are orange. And it has to do with, like, the health of the chickens. Like, the nutrients that they're taking in. Like, the chickens here have very fresh looking orange colored yolks, egg yolks, because they eat a lot of grass and proteins like plants and bugs. But the chickens back in the States have this like regimented like wheat based diet, and so they're not getting as many they're just not getting as many nutrients, as much protein and plant nutrients. So the egg yolks in the States are yellow. And in Australia, from what I've read online, in Australia, they dye their egg yolks to make it look orange, because that's how, like, imagine paying so much money to live in a country for a worse quality of life so that you can eat fake dyed egg yolks. It's just so crazy to me. So, people will say, oh, but, Indonesia's a poor country, Colombia's a poor country, Latin America, like, these countries are poor countries, like, if you had to get a job, but you don't, because you're American, you're Australian, you don't have to get a job. In fact, you can't get a job if you tried. You are, like, top echelon in a society like that. You don't have to work. You would be, doing your own thing. You'd be working remotely. You'd be living on your savings, building a business. I think it takes a long time for people to get used to that paradigm. Certainly took a while for me to get used to it. The idea of moving to another country. Oh no, but where will I get a job? It's like, silly. Jobs are for the poorest people. In any other country, like, you're so used to jobs because all of your friends and family, everybody has jobs. But did you know that, like, it's basically like being slaves, but the slaves would get taken care of, like their home and everything, and their families would be taken care of. But you know that you're worse than a slave? Like, you can't reproduce on your salary. You can't even survive on your salary. You can't live on your salary. Like, slaves are at least, not in debt because they don't own anything, because they are maintained and taken care of by their owner. And it's like, but people say, well, but slaves were lynched and this and that. Like, I mean, I'm sorry. I won't even bring slavery into this. I don't want to talk about slavery in America because I don't know anything about slavery in America. I'm talking about other types of slavery. Like, just, your job is like, it's like an anchor to make you older and sicker. It's like a slow death. And, like, I have met people with very high paying jobs, getting paid millions a year, and they get to travel, they have flexibility. They're still, like, if you can't figure out how to make a long-term situation for yourself, that job is just a slow eventual death. If you can't find a way to invest the money that you got from the job, if you can't find a way to, like, put that job to work for you, house hacking. Read my book, House Hackers Anonymous, on how to hack your job. You don't even have to be making a lot of money. You don't even have to save money from your job at all. Just use the job to get loans. Use the job as proof in bank statements. Use the job as proof when you go to a bank in order to get loans from the bank, so that you can build a business with the loans, so that you can house hack with the loans. You don't have to save money. You don't have to, which you should save money. But, a lot of you guys are spending that money on other things because you just are not making enough of it. It's going down the drain. You don't even know where it's going. Like, you're not even living paycheck to paycheck. You're living you're living in debt. You're living in debt indefinitely. So at least make the debt work for you, Like, what's the point of living if you're just don't even live? What's the point of dying a slow death, I mean, I'm not telling anyone to off themselves. I'm just saying, like, if it's the idea of moving to another country where, like, at least your mental health can be saved. If the idea of moving to another country irks you, then what you're doing now, staying in a very toxic, deteriorating situation, that should irk you even more, in my opinion. So, yeah, I'm just having so many conversations lately with people that are like, and the thing is, people will talk to me like thinking that I'm like, you know what my pet peeve is lately is like, my pet peeve, it's not lately, it's always been my pet peeve. My pet peeve is when people are struggling and they assume that I have more money than them, because obviously I do. Otherwise, why would I be so comfortable and not struggling? So they assume that I have more money than them, and I have more like, and they assume that I can like somehow help them financially when like, and then when I tell them like what I did or what I'm doing, they're so resistant, and they're like almost in disbelief. Like, well, you must be getting money somewhere else. Your dad must be, you must be like, they just, and it's like, I don't, fine. Don't, this is really, it's a really hard, tough paradigm to get used to. The idea of like moving to another country where they speak another language, dealing with cash in a different currency, it's not hard. I mean, you can, especially here, it's not hard. You can just have an ATM card. You go to any ATM, put it in, tiny little fee, you get your money out, capiche. You should receive your credit cards here. I've already received one card here because my other card expired. Like, you can do stuff. You can do stuff in another country. It's not like moving to Mars, but it's still something to get used to. But like, don't dare make assumptions about my personal life and how I'm surviving and this and that. Like, I don't know. I don't like it. It makes me feel unappreciated. It makes me feel so like, dude, like my blood, sweat, and tears mean absolutely nothing to you. And you're like, it's like I was in London, and I've said this story before, but like, it just makes me like, now I just think it's so wild. Like, I remember being in London, like, broke off my ass, and this like 20-year-old chick was like complaining to me that she only made 90,000 pounds a year, and she was complaining to me about like how poor she is and stuff. Like, dude, do you know how poor I am? If I'm not complaining to you, if I'm not like, if I seem comfortable, it doesn't mean that I have more money than you. Actually, at this point, I probably do, but it's not always been the case. And you know what? There's so much that you can do with the fact that you're a U.S. citizen or a citizen of any Five Eyes country. You can do so much of the fact that you can still get credit. You can do so much of the fact that you can speak English. You don't actually need money to start things. And this idea that you have to spend so much money before you actually make anything, it actually drives me nuts. Like, it really drives me nuts when I see people doing that. And anyways, gonna go here, but hope you enjoyed somewhat. So what did you think about it, the drive?
It was fun.
Yeah?
It was, the road was more open. The hardest part is always keeping track of where you are.
Sorry. Should I have been doing the 3 beeps?
No.
Walkie-talkies soon?
Soon.
Yeah.
It's a good idea.
Pay the tax, pay tax, yeah, to government Indonesia, and then you pay taxes depend your income.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, cool. All right, we just came back from the visa office and we talked to the visa people, and babe, how funny was it that they were like, you just have to write down that your company has X amount of money, but you don't actually have to have it.
It was interesting.
Andrew's like, so
That I would be careful with that one.
be careful to what?
My experience in running a business is if you can get away with something, don't do it by the books, because later on somebody's going to check your books.
Yeah, but what if the people in the government here don't do it by the books?
And you definitely don't like make a YouTube video about it and put it on the internet after the fact. I'm just saying, like, when you run a company, always do it by the rules. Like, That's my experience.
Well, everything I just said right now was made up. So. Indonesians do everything by the book. Is it actually about chocolate balls? Health balls? I want to make these. Like, I want to make every single one of these, and it tells you the ingredients. Like, I took a picture so that I can take it home and make it. It's 15. So that's $1. It's about a little less than $1. Spicy meatballs, tofu green pea. This is Andrew's looking up a South Park episode. The menu is insane. Like, literally everything else is everything healthy, like sugar-free, delicious looking. They also have kombucha. I bet the kombucha is really good. Hawaiian mojito kombucha. Get a mojito kombucha. Andrew's having his turmeric shot. It's turmeric shot with a coconut water chaser. Nice. Get a good look at this. Holy shit, what is this? So what are these? Chicken balls? Fish? Oh, those are fish balls. It's rice, salad. Oh my god. Ready?
Yeah.
Canggu at night. What do you think so far?
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, we passed by some really pretty bars. Maybe I'll catch a few of them. I'll try not to pull my camera out too much.
Oh, nice.
This feels like Tulum at night, honestly. It feels like Tulum, right? Tulum, Cancun area.
A little bit.
Oh, this place is so beautiful. There's like everything. Bob Marley. So whenever someone wants to sell me something and I say I don't want to buy it, I always just blame it on Andrew. I say Andrew doesn't want to buy it. This is exactly like Tulum. They had penises everywhere. It's like a thing. I don't know why they have penises in like every shop in Tulum as well. Anything here that catches your attention, baby? Oh wow.
Yes, okay.
Oh, very pretty.
We're gonna be out in the water in the morning.
I'm so excited. Look how beautiful it is.
Those waves look rough. They're breaking right at the shore.
Yeah, look, they could sweep all those people.
Those are crazy waves, man.
Yeah. You're beautiful.